Hey everybody, it's Albert. Over last week, my wife and I were visiting. We were taking a vacation of sorts. We actually went up and saw relatives, and one of the things we did while my wife grew up in central Pennsylvania. We went there, and one of her friends from childhood is now working for the neighborhood center of the United Methodist Church in Harrisburg. And we actually went there for a few days and volunteered and helped out. And I just sort of wanted to give a shout out to them for the really good work they do. And not just them, I'm sure every area has its own version of this, but I just wanted to point out that a lot of these groups could really use some help. In this particular one, it's in Harrisburg, so you're dealing with, families who a lot of them are very poor and don't have a lot of resources, and maybe the kids come from broken homes, and they take a lot of kids off the street for the summer, and they also have after-school care during the school year, and basically they feed them, they give them activities, and a lot of other things where otherwise, who knows what they might be getting into, just if they were just left out, to the streets. And they give them structure and food, and there's a lot of things people can do. Now, I was helping out, like fixing some computers for them, and a lot of the things they deal with, of course, like their equipment, their computer equipment, for example, is going to be older because it's all donated things. But, they give away clothing for children in the area. So if any of anyone out there, you may want to check and see if there's such, if you can help, if there's such groups in your own area. Now, what they do there at the neighborhood center, like I said, it's officially affiliated with the United Methodist Church, but there's different churches that come in, individual churches that will come in and maybe feed the kids for a day. They take turns, from what I gathered, and it really works out well, and they get these kids a decent meal, and then they give them activities during the day. During the summer, they'll take them out to the pool so they can go swimming and things like that. But you may find something like that in your own area, and I would seriously, they obviously, any group like that could always use volunteers, I'm sure. But even if not that, then certainly contributing things like clothing, particularly for children, since a lot of times a lot of these places will have clothing drives, and computer equipment, as I mentioned, of course, is at a premium, because a lot of people are getting rid of old computers, and because you get a new one and you say, this thing's but it may not be that great to you, but it may be something that one of these kids who who will never have access to newer equipment, that could be very valuable to them. So I rather than just trashing things, or I just sort of want to recommend checking around, because there's probably a lot of organizations such as this one in your own area that could really use the help, whether it be financial or through donations of clothing or whatever, or through donations of time in terms of volunteering. And I was very impressed with what they were able to do with. In many cases, they're obviously, it's a nonprofit, so they're not knee deep in money by any means in particular. So but they really do manage to have good activities for the children, and basically, really do something for the community that's important. So I just wanted to, think about what may be in your area, that may be old stuff lying around that you may not value anymore, that someone else might, and consider donating it So it sort of opened my eyes into a lot of things this week. So I just wanted to sort of give this little shout out to these folks since they do such a great job, and thank you very much for your time.